Now, in this community right now, especially with upcoming artists, I feel like you have said, internet has given us the platform to do whatever we want to do. Right now, I'm doing a social media experiment, and I have seen the numbers grow. And it might start little, but eventually it grows. And the first day we put out a video, we had about 50 new subscribers to my YouTube, and it seemed small, but by the next week, it increased by 110. So it's really about you as an artist understanding your niche and what you bring to the table, and make sure that you sort of create that network with you as an artist and your audience. And then you find out that people that really need your services will start gravitating towards you. Now, of course, I'm a live artist, so it's very important to me that I hone my craft. So I'm watching videos, I'm trying, I'm networking with people like Kathy, telling her, okay, I need dance lessons. I'm not taking for granted that the biggest tool I have is my voice, so I'm doing vocal lessons, and then videoing those vocal lessons and putting them on YouTube so people can follow my progress. So if tomorrow Waje announces she's doing a concert, definitely I'll be able to pull it off because I've carried people on my journey. And I feel like these are the ways that young people can take Tenny, for example. She started with Instagram. She just kept on giving us videos. We loved it. There was no single, but eventually when she came out with her first single, it was easy to understand why she's a sensation right now. So I feel like young artists need to really figure out what works for them, what you bring to the table, what's your niche, and then the rest is history.
Thank you. Second question, I've got a question. So, as an artist, would you advise other artists to knock on the doors of the Michaels, Sony Music, or knock on the doors of the McBurns for management industry strategy?
I think we need all of them, if you ask me. I think we need all of them because this is an emerging market. We don't have it. It's a developing country. It's a developing industry that we have here. So we don't have it all sorted. So in terms of, I don't know anything about distribution. I know I'm a creative. I probably have 20 to 30% knowledge, but I probably won't be the first person or the best person to do the job for Waje. So I'll talk to Michael. But I'm sure that I'll have her to sort out every other thing so that I can focus and do the work that I'm supposed to do. There are questions that I will not remember to ask. So eventually, I need people like them to help me sort out all of that. My publishing, okay, should I come out with a product? What kind of product will people get from Waje? Bare essentials, or selling a t-shirt, or, all that is really not my job if we think about it. So yeah, we do need each and every one.
Now, and they're doing really well. What are you looking for in artists? There's artists here, the artists watching live right now. What is it you're looking for?
It's a loaded question. Okay, so you mentioned Wiz and David. To be honest, I guess those signings were straightforward. These are large artists already. They have huge fan bases. They're proven commercially. For all intents and purposes, a label, whether it's independent or major, is still a commercial business. With shareholders and what have you. And it is about, these are profit-making businesses. So so we have to look at everything. Even though art is art, and and there's a lot of conversation around it's art. Some people don't look at art commercially, right? But the job of these businesses is to look at commercially. So with Skin and David.
So are you waiting for an artist to be successful before you sign it?
I think the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is that there's definitely an element of that, right? So developing an artist from scratch, major labels do develop artists from scratch, definitely, but it's a very high risk, expensive proposition. It could be, sometimes it's easier to take an artist that has developed a fan base by themselves, fair value that fan base, fair value that artist, and then support that artist financially. So from a commercial risk perspective, a major label is almost like an investment bank for the music industry. You ask the question about, are major labels still relevant? That question is asked a lot, right? And I've come from a space where I was in the digital distribution space independently before joining a major label. So I've been able to see things from both sides of the coin. And I definitely think it is a necessary ecosystem. You don't see UBA Bank, Zenith Bank, and all the banks running up to finance artists. Wizkid and Davido would never have been able to walk into a Nigerian bank and get a loan to try and expand their sound across the globe. So I definitely think you have to look at it like that. I do think that the major labels are massive investment banks, and not necessarily just investment banks of cash. I mean, these are big machines. You know, you have resources in multiple territories. So now maybe if you're touring in the US, touring in the UK, touring in Europe, touring in South Africa, you now have access to expertise and resource globally. I think that's probably the strength of the major labels. Independent labels are generally local, so you find that they have strengths locally, whether it's in Atlanta, whether it's in Paris, whether it's in Lagos. An independent label is still an independent label. You know, the fact of the matter is, as these are boutique companies, it's like going to a big hotel. You go to Echo Hotel, it's a massive hotel, lots of services. You go to a boutique hotel. Depending on your type of travel, you could have preference for either. You go to a boutique hotel, it's very hands-on. It could be a family-run hotel. Sometimes in South Africa and Joburg, they have these really nice family-run hotels. You get this hands-on service. You meet the owners. They take care of you. You're eating breakfast, and their family dog kind of like walks up, and it's really nice, quaint type environment. And then you get to these other big hotels. And then yes, it's that kind of like, here's your room number, check in, what have you. It's not personal at all, but maybe it's good because it has a gym, they have the best breakfast in town. You know, so it really depends on where you are to dictate who you sign to and who you work with. So I mean, generally for the major label, if we get back to what we look for, you know, I did start off with, you know, where are you in your career? I don't think every label, every artist needs a major label from the start of their career. I don't know if I would necessarily advise that from the start of your career. You know, you get asked that all the time, because the view is that, okay, these people will blow me, these people will blow me. I think that, sorry, that did sound really wrong. That sounded really wrong. It's Monday morning, and I haven't been. So these people, anyway, you know what I mean, anyway. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it is important for you as an artist to actually develop some level of value. It helps you in your conversation with me. You're going to come into a room with me, and I'm going to be like, okay, so what's your leverage? Am I doing all the heavy lifting? Yeah. If you've done a lot of the heavy lifting, you're going to get a better deal, right? I always talk back to an artist like Mr. Easy. A lot of people have seen him come up. I mean, he's a great artist, but he's also got a great team. He's a good businessman. You know, he's done decent deals with different platforms that work for him, and that's because he's developed the leverage. I mean, he's at Coachella now, performing, right? He's not really a major label artist per se. He does have relationships with major label, but then Burna is a major label artist signed to Atlantic Records. He's also at Coachella performing. These are two different artists on the same stage at Coachella, at Coachella right now.
So why would a Mr. Easy need you?
I mean, for someone like Mr. Easy, it will definitely be about resources, right? It's an expensive business. Yes, the internet is beautiful and it's done a lot of great things, but it's also created a massive amount of content. Spotify, Deezer, you know, Apple Music, they generally have that same 30, 40, 50 million tracks that's going to grow to. There's no way you're going to listen to all the content there. So I think what's happened now, it's a question of, there's a lot of noise. You know, of those 30, 40, 50 million tracks, there are probably about 1 million top quality tracks. How is that cutting through the sound? So someone like Mr. Easy would need, it's cash, it's marketing. Sure. You understand? You do need to get that billboard up in Times Square. You know, YouTube supported Burna Boy with that. Yeah. You do need that. You do need to say, fine, this is where I'm strong. I'm doing a show in this place. How can I leverage on this global machine to derive the best value? So I think it's all about being smart. Like I said, I go back to, if I had a younger brother who was a rapper when he was younger, and I always advise people, like, look, even if he was my young brother that came to me as a fresh artist, I would probably advise him, look, dude, go and grow a level of value. Go and develop a fan base. Go and actually, if you can, you know, show me you can actually make some money. I look at it like that, like Silicon Valley. How can I scale your business? You're an artist, you're a business, you're an entity. I want to see what you've done yourself. If you've done 1,000, how do we take it to 1 million? If you've done 0, I mean, the conversation is going to be completely different. And even if I think you have talent, I'm going to, all the leverage is on my side. Sure. All the leverage is on my side. So my advice is always grow a fan base, grow something first, yes.